안 찾고.
Welcome to another episode of Times Square Kung Fu. I'm your host, Frankie Balboa, aka the Shogun Supreme.
And I'm Peter Gligowski, freelance gaming and film critic. Today we're going to be talking about the new Korean horror film, Exhuma. Although it's actually not that new, but it came out this year, and WellGO's got a brand new Blu-ray coming up soon, and a 4K.
And a 4K, but we got the Blu-ray for review, and this was a first-time watch for me and Peter, and people been telling me all year I gotta watch this film. I didn't look at any trailers. Same thing with Peter. We went at this blind, and yo, we were blown away.
It's good. It's damn good.
It's damn good, man. But we're about to get into this. Now, before we get into this review, and me and Peter spoke about this because we've been very busy this summer, as we mentioned in our previous videos, that we were very fortunate to give an opportunity to do commentary tracks for Shout Factory and for 88 Films. And over the course of the summer, WellGO USA has sent us an amazing amount of Blu-ray copies that I didn't get a chance to review or watch. I got to see a few of them, but we're gonna highlight those titles at the end of this review, man. So, Peter, let her know what this amazing Korean banger is about, because yo, WellGO USA legendary freaking year, it is insane. This might be one of the best releases this year.
So the plot synopsis is, after tracing the origin of a disturbing supernatural affliction to a wealthy family's ancestral gravesite, a team of paranormal experts relocates the remains and soon discovers what happens to those who dare mess with the wrong grave. That's part of the movie, and there's a pretty big twist midway through, although I will say that the subtlety of the story kind of gets ruined by the end. But regardless, you enter the movie with a sort of horror-adjacent look. I mean, clearly this is a horror film, but it doesn't go full-on scary or monsters or anything like that until roughly midway. The second half of the movie, and this is a 2-hour and 14-minute film, feels like a different film almost. The story is kind of secondary about the wealthy family having the ancestral line being cursed, but none of that really matters because there's a lot to think about and bite into with this movie, and that's what surprised me the most. I don't want to give it away, even if the film is not very subtle about what it's trying to say, but it still is a captivating twist that I did not expect.
Now, what Peter mentioned, because I'm gonna get straight to it. When you guys watch this review, I highly recommend, if you never saw this, do not watch the trailer. After I saw the film, I want to see how the trailers for these films were advertised, and don't do it to yourselves. We already know trailers freaking give everything away. If you like mystery, thriller, horror joints, definitely pick this up, because when me and Peter were watching this is one of the most chillest films I've seen that didn't feel like a slow burn. No, it was fascinating because we get an insight of the family. The daughter has a newborn and she's in Los Angeles. So we see a couple, the different cultural aspects of things and traditions in this film, because you see a lot of traditional stuff with Korean religion in this film.
Yeah, that was one fascinating aspect, and I'm going to try my best to not spoil anything, but obviously the film itself, because they're exhuming bodies and performing rituals, some of that is Taoist. So, it's a Chinese religion, but then there's also Korean shamans, and clearly that has nothing to do with China, but it's a totally different religion. But then one of the main characters, he's a devout, I don't know if it's Protestant Christian or Catholic, doesn't matter. He's Christian, and you have this mixture of all these different cultures, and it kind of informs part of the story. I really don't want to say too much because I'm afraid it might give the twist away.
I want to get, Peter, I was going to say it. the twist of this film is so freaking good, and the way they get into it makes sense because the family is hiding the truth about something, and it's not something they constantly hammer in. They're focusing on one aspect, and when they're getting close to like, hey, what's going on with the family? Because I was telling you, what came to mind watching this film is something similar to The Exorcist. This film is The Exorcist and Project Wolf Hunting. That's what you need to know. If you guys seen Project Wolf Hunting, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'm gonna put it in the description, my review on that film, because again, that's another WellGO USA release. But I'm telling you right now, this is a film that it doesn't have like a Shyamalan twist. It has a twist that makes freaking sense the way they just go into it.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I don't know how else to phrase it, but there is no subtlety once the twist happens. Like, you kind of know exactly what the movie's about. But there are a lot of cool foreshadowing techniques they drop, little hints that characters will say, and things that start to get your mind spinning gears into what the twist might actually be and how it all relates. And that's what I enjoyed the most. There's a lot of depth to the dialogue here.
Yeah, and the acting is amazing. I love Kim Go-eun, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If not, sorry about that. But she's amazing. She's part of the crew of Cho Min-sik, because there's like 3 of them where they have like this, you know, to put in layman's term, like an Exorcist crew, and they somehow have like their own little arc. They don't focus too much on it, but it gives it more of a humanization to them. It's
not heavily character driven, and the characters themselves don't necessarily change by the end, but you're more in it for the mystery and how they're willing to sacrifice themselves to solve that mystery.
It's well shot, the film. It sounds great. And for my fellow English dub nation, this WellGO USA release, yeah, Peter, yeah, has an English dub, and the dub is actually well, man. Shout out to all my English dub fans out there.
All 2 of them.
You know? But again, I like to watch it with the original language, but I like to watch films originally. I mean, my first time watch with the English dub, and then watch it again with the original language. But this, my first time viewing, I'm glad I saw it with the original language due to the historical aspect in the film. I mean, Peter's a dub hater, but it makes sense to watch this film with the Korean dub.
Yeah, they switch languages at one point, and I'm not going to say which language they changed to, but it makes sense within the context of the story.
No, absolutely. The audio is great. It has making of featurette in the Blu-ray and 4K. I highly recommend this film. It comes out early next month, I believe October 10th, around that week. But if you get it from the Diabolical DVD or any of those what's the other one? Our good friends MVD Entertainment Group, they usually break street dates. So I'm putting you guys on to game. You know, so you want this early, get it from MVD Entertainment Group and Diabolical DVD, man. They got ya, man. So Peter, let's wrap this review up, but highly recommended, right?
Yeah, I would recommend watching the movie. I don't know if it's this year's best horror film, but it is another very solid one. And if you're one of those people that's like, oh, I only watch high horror, whatever the hell that crap is, I mean, you'll be surprised with this.
You know, so definitely pick it up, and we're gonna highlight some of the releases that WellGO release of the course of the summer, because they're not joking around, bro. Like, WellGO, I love them and they love us. Let's get into this. Now, one of the releases that has a strong following, and I told Peter about this, is the sequel to Alienoid, The Return to the Future, and in Frank fashion, I was calling Alienoid Back to the Future.
Same difference.
And this is a very interesting sci-fi film where it has traditional aesthetics, and they're all trying to get this holy sword. And you have a chick, and I kid you not, in traditional attire, doing martial arts, and a freaking Glock 9. Probably not a Glock 9. Peter knows his guns, but it is a freaking ridiculous journey. CG heavy and set designs. I haven't get a chance to see the second one. I enjoyed the first one, and there's a franchise I try to get, Peter to watch, but knowing our schedules, these films are long as hell.
Yeah.
Because I told you the runtime. It's like 2 hours and change, both of these films.
They're practically 2.5 hours each.
Yeah, and it's directed by Choi Dong-hoon. He's the same one that did a very fascinating film that I enjoy. It was called Assassination. It's like a time period piece. And he's a fun director. These are fun films. My niece loved the first one because it has comedy aspects to it. And the robot in it looks very Sentai. Very sharp angler, the humor and stuff. So these are fun films. I definitely got to check the second one. This came out this summer, and with the first film, I was quite shocked how good it looked on the Blu-ray. It was ridiculously sharp, and of course, because it was 4K. And there's a German 4K release of this on a media book. Why spend close to $65 to import that from Amazon Germany when the Blu-ray upscales just fine? On your TV set, on your player.
I guess you don't get HDR.
Boost the saturation up in your damn TV. There you go. That's your fake HDR. So if you're into sci-fi, action, comedy, definitely check this film out. It's out digital already. You can rent it. Or if you want that beautiful audio from WellGO, definitely check it out because the audio is reference quality. I totally enjoyed the first one. And most likely, I want to see how the story wraps up. It's an interesting universe. It reminded me of what we were getting with TV shows back in the 90s and early 2000s. And next up, we got to highlight this film, which is highly reviewed. Last Stop in Yuma County. I haven't seen this yet. I got this over in July or late June, I believe. And everybody been telling me, check this out. Peter, you just read the synopsis in this film. And you saw the reviews on it.
I mean, your Blu-ray there's got a Rotten Tomatoes sticker on it.
Yeah, look at that. It's fresh, baby.
It's fresh, yeah.
It's fresh. And it has a rare thing on WellGO USA Blu-rays. You know what that is, Peter, right?
An Atmos track?
No, they always add that, bro. Come on, they no joke. An audio commentary, baby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it definitely has a making of and an audio commentary. The synopsis of this is basically while waiting for the next fuel truck at a middle of nowhere Arizona rest stop, a traveling young knife salesman is thrust into high-stake hostage situation by the arrival of two similarly stranded bank robbers with no qualms about using cruelty or cold hard steel to protect their bloodstained, ill-forgotten fortune. This shit sounds like fun. This sounds like some fucking Tarantino shit to me.
Weirdly enough, that sounds like the video game As Dusk Falls.
Whoa, word. So we definitely got to watch this.
It's directed by, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but Francis Galuppi. And it stars a guy named Jim Cummings who is not Winnie the Pooh. So I didn't know there was another one. That's cool. I like movies that have, I mean, I wouldn't say they're no-name actors, but they're unknown, and it gives more plausibility to stories like this because, if you saw freaking Hugh Jackman getting held up at gunpoint, you'd be like, come on.
Nah, this thing has a DTS audio track, of course. I mean, you'd be surprised how many releases have Dolby Digital, man. Like, it's not a lot, but I'd be shocked when I see that. And one thing I like about WellGO USA, I think we highlighted this before, is their slipcovers. They have texture to it. You can feel that title. You can feel that, even on the spine. So, yeah. Me and Peter, we love our slipcovers, but Peter loves steelbooks.
I love steelbooks more, yeah.
Yeah, and another film that we're going to highlight. Now, this next film, as you see my face, my niece loved it. It's something you remember seeing at a video store and you have no idea what to rent type horror film. And that is Sting. directed by Kia Roach Turner, and the effects done by Weta Workshop. You guys should know that name. And there's an actress in this film that Peter recognized. Let him know, Pete.
As we looked up the cast, since Elila Brown is in it, and she recently played young Furiosa in Furiosa. So,
I mean, it's not surprising because this is an Australian film and it's only 91 minutes. Again, my niece loved it, and my niece is the best course when it comes to reviews. She's 13, and I told Peter her review for The New Crow. You remember what I told you, Peter, what she said?
She said, "I've become the Crow because I'm going to hunt down the director."
She had a ball with this film. She said, and I quote, "It's stupid fun." All I know is I was doing some work, and she just popped this disc in. It's about spiders. It's in New York City, and she said it's silly, it's dumb, but it's freaking fun. She actually got some jump scares, as she told me. No, they didn't. Take as you will with that, but Halloween season, like I said, is upon us, and not every film has to be serious. I like when directors have fun. This sounds something that you drink a couple of White Claws, smoke a little medical marijuana, bro, and just sit back and relax. This ain't serious. Looks like there's some fun joints to kick back to, you know what I mean? So if you guys, interested in some cheesy, dumb thriller horror, it's available digital, and you could buy this on Blu-ray. Hope you guys enjoy us highlighting some of the releases. And as always, guys, like, share, and subscribe. And until next one, peace.